Okay, so the Tomorrow Children. What it's about. It's about a future where humanity and basically all features of the Earth have been wiped clean. And you're trying to rebuild. You're trying to go out into this kind of messed up world that looks like it's made of I don't know, weird nanotech sludge or something. You're trying to go out there, mine resources, and rebuild towns. And so now, so I haven't played the game in several days, and so I came back, and it looks like the town that I've been working on was completed, and I've got to find a new town. So let's try to find a new town. Long-running towns. Let's choose somebody. Okay, I'm not sure what all of the icons mean, but this one seems middle of the road. Sure, let's go for it. So there was a connection problem, I think, one time when I tried to play, and they've just given me some prizes. Ooh, an Eagle Corp chainsaw. Nice. I can destroy useful trees. All right, so it's been a few days since I played this. I got to kind of remind myself what's going on. And an important ingredient of that process is figuring out what's going on, which is the main challenge of this game. So this is our town. It's full of stuff we might find useful. Stockpiles of resources, objects that you can pick up and carry around. I believe this is a light source, so I might want to carry it around because I could take it someplace and make it useful. We find these huge installations that sort of grow out in the desert. And we mine them for resources. We dig into them. That's got, terrain deformation and stuff like that. Can I run out here? No, I think I might have to take the bus out to the installations. Let's find the... Oh, what? Do you have hover cars? Who is this? Why do you have a hover car? Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's, got to be a bus somewhere, right? Let's go find a bus. So notice this: you don't see other people running around in the world with you all the time. Instead, when someone else interacts with something, you see a brief little apparition of them that just appears, does the thing, and then vanishes again. Which is great. I mean, what that means is they're not having to manage just constant network traffic from other people, just moving around in the world. That's one of the costs when people, complain about games not having multiplayer, act like it's easy for a game to include multiplayer. They don't really realize what a constant effort it is to keep a multiplayer game going. Just to have people in your world with you brings in so much potential for things to go wrong. And they're dodging that in this game by not actually rendering most of the people most of the time, which is a pretty clever move. And they constantly, they built a world where the people that you're playing are kind of weird, semi-illusory, like they're projections of yourself, but they're not really you in some mysterious way. I don't fully understand the way the world works, but yeah. So I've gotten on a bus, which will take me out across the sort of unwalkable desert, so that I can go and do my job. Oh, look, a big spider. You can kind of fight those, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so here is a place where we can mine. Alright, and I have brought a light source. And now I'm gonna have to remember how to play, because it's been several days since I played before. And I've forgotten how a lot of this works. So, there's this building here. Here, let me set this down. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I've got a pickaxe, a shovel. These do different things to the terrain. Pickaxe just makes a hole. A shovel makes a hole with stairs. Chainsaw cuts trees down. So let's grab this pickaxe. And so I think these are materials that we need. How do I can jump? Forget how to interact. Is it? There we go. So the Joker just informed me that the reason he's been able to watch my streams is because he's had a horrible cold. And so now I'm like, I want to say, oh hey, come back and enjoy my streams in the future. But what that would be saying is, I hope your cold never goes away. And that would be kind of, you know, crappy to say something like that. I do like having you around though, Joker, so, you know. Am I hoping you lose your job? Nah, that seems inappropriate. So we just are basically, oh yeah, I forgot. I think I can actually load these into my backpack too. So I can carry multiples at the same time. So pick that up, and I think, yeah, it's down on the D-pad. Load it into my backpack. Collect these guys, take them back. And doink. Oh no, that's not how you do it. How do you, is it this? Oh, there we go, dump everything out. So, what I'm doing is, I'm trying to find all the resources in this little piece of landscape here, bring them all back, and then these get loaded onto the bus. And see, other people are unloading too, I just can't see them. They get loaded onto the bus takes them back home, and then people can rebuild the town from the stuff that we find. And we're all participating in every part of this process. And the thing that's kind of a challenge in this game is sort of trying to understand what my role in this actually is. Like, because the role I'm playing is so small, and, you know, it mostly just like hitting things with tools, mining, and there's some exploration to it, but it is kind of difficult to sort of understand the exact impact I'm making. And I think that's, it's hard for me to really, without spending a lot of time, I think, getting to know the game, it's hard for me to really comprehend the difference that I'm making, like what my role is. It's hard for me to see all the way from what I'm doing right here to the town being rebuilt. So I think that's the challenge that the game is working to overcome, but they're doing a lot of really interesting things along the way. I mean, for one thing, like I was pointing out before, their multiplayer choices are just fascinating. You know, when someone's interacting with the world, it displays them, but it doesn't try to track them running around all the time. So I think that means they can just be, I don't know, their multiplayer is just a lot lighter in terms of the resources that it demands, and they just kind of consciously went for a lower fidelity. What are those? Went for a lower fidelity multiplayer experience so that they could support it more easily, I suspect, is the reason. Come take my resources. So whenever I deliver resources here and they get picked up and taken away, I get paid in coupons, and I spend the coupons to get more tools. And so I can just sort of have a career here, even if I don't engage with the sort of creative town rebuilding stuff. I can still have a career here as a worker. And I think that may be why they chose this sort of like Soviet. Or so, I mean, they have the characters look like wooden stop motion characters, and yeah, and the world has got this whole like Soviet communist vibe to it. And I think a lot of the reason for that is just because, you know, they know that a big part of this game is going to be, you know, drudgery. It's going to be me, you know, doing hard labor, and so they just decided, rather than trying to make it not be that way, they decided to lean into it artistically and just, you know, and basically say, oh yeah, this is a game about working, so let's make it a game that is hilariously, satirically about working. Oh, hello. There went that guy. Yeah, and he destroyed some stuff too. So there are some like gun emplacements back at the village that I can use to fight those guys and destroy them. That's another thing I can get paid for doing. Oh, I just took damage. Do I have any food? I don't think I have any food. Oh, did I just push? I think I just pushed the black market button so I could buy some boosts or something. I've got about, they just gave me $200 to spend on the black market because of some connection issue that I had. I'm not in a very dangerous place. That's the problem. It's like some of these places, like they're full of enemies and they're dangerous. And the last time I played, I was in an area that was full of caves that were full of little bat creatures that were coming after me, and that was pretty cool. I wish I could show that to you now, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of control over what my options are. Like, I can't really just decide, you know, this world decides what it offers me, and then I just kind of have to deal with it. So I just restored my health. So I think this place was originally hard to get into, and people hollowed it out by, you know, digging the way you... Actually, I should show you some of the terrain deformation stuff. Hey there, McKillum. Yeah, McKillum points out that satire can be a slippery slope, that it's way too easy to end up just becoming the thing you're satirizing. Which is that is a line that this game walks. See, I want to get up to that gold that's up there. Can I get there? I can do it from here. Oh no! Oh, and it's got a thingy. It's got a thingy. Okay, so that thingy is that little Russian doll is the main thing we're trying to collect here. That's what lets us repopulate the town. So let's hack through this gold first. That up, put it away, pick that up, put it away, pick that up, put it away, grab this little guy, put it in my little stash, and then, what's down in there? Let's dig some more. Let's grab our shovel. This time, we will dig straight into the earth. Yeah, I had a Twitter conversation with somebody about this game where they were lamenting some of the poor reviews the game got. And my response was, the Tomorrow Children is not for everyone. But that's fine. It would be a really boring industry if every game had to be for everyone, right? I mean, there are people who are really enjoying this, and and so I definitely can't fault them for that. I mean, the game is very clever. It's got a neat style, and particularly if if you're very patient and you can spend the time that it takes to get into it and progress and sort of learn your relationship with this world, I think it could probably be really rewarding. Just for me, because I maintain this intense gaming schedule, and I'm always trying to move on to the next game and everything. Like, I'm probably not the best audience for it because I get impatient with games really quickly. It's hard for me to play a game that has a very slow burn like this game has. But I mean, look at this terrain deformation tech. They've got like this a huge amount of this space which is carved out by people. Come back and get that in a minute. I think my backpack's full. I should go unload. So this game was made by Q Games, the Pixel Junk folks, who basically all of their games, not all of their games, a ton of their games seem to be about, let's see, what do I do here? Okay, auto load, there we go. Seem to be about just exploring really neat tech ideas that they have, right? Like, I mean, Pixel Junk Shooter is probably my favorite game of theirs historically, And that game was basically, it's about fluid simulation. You know, they're like, oh, let's make a cool fluid simulation. And they did. And then they came up with a really clever game around it, and it was a lot of fun. But the heart of that game was, let's make a neat fluid simulation. And I feel like this game is a lot like that. Where you're like, hey, let's make a really cool terrain deformation system. Let's come up with a really kind of slick and efficient way to get players playing in the same, you know, multiplayer environment without, you know, needing too much fidelity. And, you know, they figured that out. And let's see here, is this gonna keep everything on the square, hopefully. And so they've solved that problem. You know, they came up, I mean, this game technically is really fascinating and successful. It's just a question of, you know, how long does someone want to play this? You know, how long, you know, how invested can someone get into a game like this? And it really just kind of, it's a person by person thing, right? Okay, so up there's another one of those little dolls. So I want to try to reach it, partly because, you know, partly I want to reach it because, you know, that's the ongoing goal of this world, is to do it, you know, and I'm trying to get on board with the ongoing goal. But partly I want to do it just because I'll also get paid more for it. So it's interesting how they, you know, they, just like kind of the real world, they've set up your incentives here so that, you know, you could be engaged in the long term and do things for that reason, but you could also just be engaged in getting your paycheck. And that's also how reality works. So I'm trying to dig my way up there. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Oh, hey, McKillum. Sorry you had to leave, but it was good to have you here. Hope you come back later, and thanks for reminding me to say goodbye, the Joker. Hopefully I didn't miss him, though it seems like I probably did. I don't know. So I'm just gonna dig through here as high as I can, see if I can come out a little bit higher, and try to jump around and reach that Russian doll. Yep, that's true. Once I start getting off on a rant about something, it is hard to get me to do anything else. Oh, okay. Alright, so this is gonna be my last use of this shovel. I don't know if I can, like, if I want to buy something from the black market, I don't know if it just gets delivered wherever I am. I think it maybe does. Oh, and then I fell down. Okay, so I'm gonna try to contact the black market, get myself another shovel, see if that works. So they pay you in 2 currencies. There you go. One is coupons, which is the stuff you spend, you get it by working, and it's the stuff that you spend back at the town to buy your official, you know, proletariat shovels. But then there's a black market where you can buy better stuff using basically hard currency. So because I was an early adopter of the game, I got a pile of hard currency when I first arrived. I could buy more if I wanted to. And they also give it to me for things like, you know, if I had a bad experience with my connection, they'll sometimes just reward me with hard currency for sticking around, which I appreciate. All right, let's try digging this way. So, whoa. Okay, great. Let's pick that up. And I could probably get there, but let's pickaxe our way through. So the way their terrain deformation system works is you got these different tools. Well, okay, I can't tell you how the terrain deformation system works, like on a code level, because I have no idea. But the way it works on the gameplay side is that I've got these different tools. I've got a pickaxe that lets me dig straight forward, and I've got a shovel that lets me dig down. If I aim it at the floor, I'll dig stairs down, and if I aim it at a wall, I'll dig stairs up. And that gives me basically all the control I need to be able to, you know, dig around in here and get where I want to go, which, you know, it's pretty well arranged here. Oh, look, there's another little guy in there. Let's go get it. And this game can be pretty addictive too, by the way. Like, once I get started with this stuff, it's pretty hard to quit. I don't think I've got room. Yeah, let's... Well, but one thing I can do is dump this off the edge. And either I can get it later or somebody else can. My first time I played, somebody was really far up high in a landform like this, and they weren't carrying stuff back to the bus at all. All they were doing was just mining stuff like crazy and just dumping it down the side, and then everybody else made it their job to then everybody else made it their job to grab the stuff and move it. So we were kind of working like a fire brigade, you know. It's like one person would do the mining job, one person would do the grabbing and loading job, and then people were back at home doing the building job. So it's interesting, like, another thing that's, kind of cool about this game is how people sort of, without being able to communicate with each other, sort of still silently work out ways to work together and collaborate. You know, there's no way for us to fight with each other, conflict. We can't get in each other's ways, because of the way that they don't, they don't render other people walking around, and other people don't have collision for me. So nobody can, and we can't attack each other. So nobody can grief me. All we can do is collaborate. They just sort of set up this environment like, oh, hey, we got this shared job to do. Nobody can really do it by themselves, and people naturally find ways to collaborate. That might actually be one of the kind of bigger, more interesting successes of this game. So, like I said, so even though, I feel like this is definitely not the game for everyone. This is definitely not, a game that every player is going to want to spend their time on. Oh, hey, is that wood? Oh, I didn't know I could carry wood. Even though it's not necessarily the game that everyone wants to play, I think that game developers should definitely check it out, because there's a ton that we can sort of learn from the way people behave in this game and the way they're able to sort of, with just little incentives, little sort of ground level incentives. Whoa, hello. We can get everybody sort of working on the same team and accomplishing things together. Hey, Joker, I thank you for the compliment. It really, you really made my day saying that. Yeah, the place does seem pretty empty. I think, well, part of it is, just the hour of the day that I'm playing, right? I mean, I'm playing ridiculously early in the morning. And part of it is, there was an initial rush on the game when the game was first released, and, games always sort of, they spike at first, and then they kind of slow down. I don't know if the game has settled into sort of its final scale in terms of its user base. So it could be there are places that are emptying out as it kind of, shrinks a little bit. If there's a chance that this game, might not last forever, I do hope people take the opportunity to check it out. So somebody's just chopping down all the trees. Somebody has decided the trees are mostly there to support our health. Like as we hurt ourselves, we can eat from the trees. I'm gonna hop on this bus now. But once a place is exhausted, once we've found all the minerals and we found all the little Russian dolls, people start feeling like, oh, this place is gonna go soon, so let's cut down all the trees. Let's just take everything we possibly can and bring it back to base. So I don't know why we necessarily need the buses, because I mean, there's this area like below my feet that I can't cross on my own. I have seen players attempting to build bridges, like taking the stuff that they can build with the resources back at the base, building bridges across it. I haven't seen one that succeeded yet, though. I mean, I haven't played this very much, so the thing is, I just don't know if this ocean of impassable terrain here that I'm sort of skimming over. I don't know if it's impassable for like an important technical reason, like they really can't have people walking from the town to the mining site, and this is just sort of a justification for it, or if there was some other like design reason they just wanted it to be impassable, and that people building bridges over it is just fine. I'm not sure which of those is true. I'm also not sure where I am. Well, this doesn't seem to be a place I want to be, so let's get back on there. Maybe there used to be a mining site here? Yeah, Joker, that's one of the things that's really valuable about this game, is the fact that, I mean, Joker just pointed out that this game is just really unique, and that's, I feel like, you know, any game that pushes the industry outside of its usual, you know, I mean, you know what it feels like to see a generic game get announced, and, you know, people often are a little bit too savage with that, but, you know, people, you know, there's a lot of games that play it safe, and this game definitely doesn't, and I always appreciate when someone decides to, you know, to make a game that does something no one's really done before, and I feel like this game has a lot of things. Design-wise, aesthetically, this is really uncommon, you know? That feels intrinsically valuable. So I'm traveling in a lot of empty terrain here. I'm not sure where I'm headed. Okay, there's a light here. Good. I like lights. Is there... Looks like there's nothing here either. Well, I definitely don't want to get stranded. Is there only the one mining site, but a lot of bus stops near empty ground? I wonder why that is. Yeah. That is, yeah, Joker points something out that, you know, this place is a void, but they've, you know, managed to find a way to make a void interesting and pretty, you know, aesthetically. Like, it's not just empty space, it's empty, smoky, reflective, you know, strangely inhabited by floaty creatures space. Looks like somebody is trying to build a bridge right there. Though to what, I'm not sure. I think that's the place I was already working. Oh, somebody's firing the gun at the big monsters. So we came home, dumped everything, and now stuff can get, you know, kind of collected into the loading areas. And then people can work on building this town. So a lot of the elements of this town are things that are just here always. You know, they're always here. They're just a fundamental part of the infrastructure. But then I think there's some aspects of it that are built by players. And when you get it up to a certain level, it's complete, and they move on to another one. And so together, the players of this game are rebuilding society. But as far as today goes, I have exhausted the half hour that I had, so I'm going to get back to doing my job. But, oh, holy crap. But look at, I mean, there's very consistent aesthetics in this game, right? It's like just everything is united by this theme. So yeah, this is a very clever and unique game that I'm really glad exists. And that's the Tomorrow Children.